In this video, I'm going to be going over 6 different spots to get free commercial use fonts. At least in most cases, these will be free commercial use fonts. But with any of these, be sure to check out the licensing for them before you use them on any paid projects. And also, I'll note, if you know any other really good spots to get free fonts that are legal, keyword legal here, feel free to share those in the comment section below as well. You can help some other people out that way by sharing what you know. But fonts are super important because if you're ever working on a design project where you just can't find that perfect font and you're totally stuck because of it, that's when you realize just how important having a huge library of fonts can be. And sometimes it's not easy to go out there and just purchase the perfect font if it might be out of your price range or your particular project doesn't have a budget. That's where these sorts of websites come in super handy to get you some really cool free fonts. So first up here is my favorite font site, at least for the free commercial ones, and that's Squirrel, because number one, pretty much all these are free for commercial use as well as personal use, so that's a huge bonus. This website curates some of the best free commercial use fonts out there. Once again, before you use these in a commercial project, check out the licensing to make sure that's accurate, but in most cases it is when you're using Squirrel, and they have different classifications for fonts. So if you just want to see serif fonts, for example, you can click on that and you'll be presented with them in order of, I think it's popularity. We're actually looking at this right now. It seems to be in alphabetical order, but in any case, you can tell there's a ton of really cool serif fonts in this list. But if I want something different, like let's say a script font, I can just find the tag for script, which is right here. Click on that and it'll be presented with a whole bunch of different awesome free script fonts. Although I don't quite know why this guy's in there. He snuck in. But overall, these searches do work pretty well. Oh, it looks like they're actually both selected. So I have to unselect serif and now we'll have just the script fonts right here. So really cool website with Squirrel, and with all these websites, I will be linking the links in the description. So check out the description below the video if you want to go to any of these different websites. So next up is Google Fonts, which is extra helpful for web designers because all these fonts do work on the web, and you can use the Google Content Delivery Network to utilize these fonts, and the Google Content Network is super fast, as you might expect from something from Google. So that's certainly a really huge bonus with using any of the Google fonts. And you can also choose different types of fonts here. So under all categories, under filters right here, just click on all categories and you can select what you want to see. So if I just want to see handwriting, it updates all this in real time and it will only show me handwritten fonts. And when you find a font, like let's say you don't want to use the web version, you actually want to download it and have it on your system, all you have to do is hit this add to collection button, which will add as many fonts as you want to the collection. And when you're ready to download all of these, you can just hit this little button. It looks like a down arrow in the upper right hand corner that says download. Once you do that, it'll just say, hey, how do you want to download this? In this case, I'll do it in a zip file. I click that and the download automatically starts. So it's really easy to go in here and do that. And you can also view this in different ways, such as paragraph or poster. So if you want to see how these look as you're actually going through them, it's nice that there's a few different ways to browse based on how you want these to look. But Google Fonts is definitely a really cool resource that's worth checking out, and a lot of really good fonts in here, especially if you're looking for some really solid sans serif fonts, which can be a little bit more difficult when you're looking through free fonts. So Google Fonts will be a great spot for those. So next up here is not your typical free font website because it's really based around a paid font system, but Creative Market offers free goods every week that you can download. So once you sign up for an account, you can go over to the Get Free Goods button, which every week there'll be a set of 6 different free goods for you to choose from and use. And pretty much every week, at least one of those goods will be a font. In this case, it's Shintia Script. So if I click on that, it'll bring up the font that for this week is a free download, a really cool script font. So if you check back every week here, you can find a different free font to use that is enabled under their standard use license, which is pretty generous in terms of what it allows you to use these fonts on. So Creative Market, although not a typical one, has a free font pretty much every week. And aside from that, there's other different free goods every week that you also might find useful on your projects. So definitely worth checking out for that reason. Next up here is the League of Movable Type, which has a really nice selection of free commercial use fonts. It's much like Squirrel in that way, and they do share some fonts with Squirrel, but as I scroll down here, you can sort of see the different fonts that they have on offer. If you see one you like, just go ahead and click on that, which will bring you to a page where you can view the different preview images right here, and then just click on the download button if you want to download it. So a very nice and well curated site of free commercial use fonts, and I really like the previews they have on these particular fonts as well. There's some really cool styles going on there that show you some nice example use cases cases, but legal movable type is certainly one worth checking out and one that I kind of had forgotten about before making this particular video, so I was glad to find it once again and check out what they had on offer. Next up here is Lost Type CoOp, which is known for a very hipster style of font, and it's also worth noting that most of these fonts are not free for commercial use, but they are free for personal use, so kind of take that information as you will. But if you click on one of these, let's say Morriston, if I click on this, if you want to download it for free, all you have to do is hit $0 in this box right here and hit the download button, and then the download will commence. But they do show the licensing terms right here as far as what that font owner wants in order for you to use them in a commercial project. So in this case, a 1 to 5 user commercial license is $75, but that does change on a font by font basis. Like this one right here is a commercial license for $30. So some really cool fonts on Lost Type CoOp, and definitely worth checking out. Even if you want to just use these for personal use and not commercial use, there's a huge selection of different free fonts here, many of which are extremely stylized and just have a super polished look to them. So certainly an inspirational website to check out, and also a great source for free personal use fonts. And of course, if you pay for the commercial use fonts, you're supporting those font authors, so thumbs up to you for doing that. Next up here is Font Fabric, which is kind of similar to Creative Market, not in that they're a similar website, but in that this is really a website that is based around paid fonts, but they do have a ton of different free fonts as well that are very easy to go in here and download. So here is the list of different free fonts that are available here. So as you can tell, there's a bunch, and there's even a next button with even more stuff here to go in and check out. But if you find one you like this font right here called Intro, if you click on that, it'll bring you to that font's particular page, where if you scroll down a little bit to near the bottom here, I'll just keep on going because this one has a ton of preview images and more preview images. At the very bottom here, there's a full version that you can buy for $30, or a free version, which will have a sort of limited feature set that you can go ahead and click this button and then download. So feel free to sort through the different fonts that Font Fabric has to offer. There's some really cool stuff on this website, so it's definitely worth going in here and checking out. Like this one right here is a pretty cool vintage looking script font that appears to be totally free. If I go all the way to the bottom here, this one's just a download for a free font. So when you download this particular free one, you're basically getting everything that it has to give. But that's it for this video. I do hope you found it helpful. And like I said near the beginning, if you know other spots to get free fonts that you find to be particularly awesome, feel free to leave links to those in the comments section. But if there's anything important here I missed, definitely share those and help some other people out. So I do hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please like and favorite. And if you want to see more stuff like this every week, please subscribe. I do my best to keep new content coming every week for illustrators, designers, and lovers of fonts. Thanks so much for watching.